Back on, ladies and gentlemen, with a simple, straightforward question. It's a fractured mandate again between Jammu and Kashmir in the Jammu Kashmir Union Territory Assembly polls for the Vidhan Sabha. In this case, what has this done? Has this cleared the pitch, the result? Even though and Omar Abdullah says that he'd like to work with the centre, he draws the line between the central government and the BJP, but he'd like to work in the interest. But he continues to underline this entire issue of 370. Although yesterday he said statehood is priority, we'll talk about 370 later. But today he again, while speaking with Zaka, said the same thing. Shazia Almi, national spokesperson of the BJP with us, Lokesh Jindal, leader Congress party with us, Shaila Rashid Chora with us, academician, and Sandeep Wazir, JKNC leader with us. My namaste and Jai Hind to everybody. Thank you very, very much. Sandeep, namaste. Congratulations, and JKNC should be ready to form the government, and in all likelihood it will be Omar Abdullah who will be the next chief minister. Now what he says and his point of view, do things try and, is the attempt to try and send things back to 2010, 2014, or is there a real intent to take things forward from here on? Under the tricolour, under one constitution, and for the betterment of the people of Jammu and Kashmir, fully integrated with Bharat. Yes, Sandeep.
We were already under tricolour. There is no question of not being under the tricolour. And Omar Abdullah, Omar Abdullah said after the victory of National Conference, he said that the people of Jammu and Kashmir are one, and maybe we have got more seats from Kashmir Valley. But it doesn't mean that the people of Jammu are not dear to him. He emphasized the need to bridge the gap between Jammu and Kashmir, and he said that the government which he is going to form and which he is going to head will look to every individual in a same manner, and there will be no discrimination between Jammu and Kashmir. I think the statement from Omar Abdullah speaks all. There is no need to explain further.
No, there is a politics of federalism and there is a politics of having your own riyasat and try and act as a sadre riyasat. Which politics is Mr. Omar Abdullah going to follow?
See, the question of 370, that is the core issue we fought elections on. And we still firmly believe, that 370 is a very important issue for us and the people of Jammu and Kashmir. And people of Jammu and Kashmir have voted National Conference to take this agenda forward of 370, and one day we want that 370 should return to the state.
You understand, Sandeep Wazir, if you are fighting under the tricolour, then you should not be asking for 370. Because in one country, it should be one constitution, one flag, and one law. The moment you start talking 370, you're talking about one nation but two constitutions, one nation but two penal codes. That's where there is a problem. Then it's not Ek Desh Ek Vidhan.
See, the point is that this 370 was given to us by our forefathers. It was promised to the people of Jammu and Kashmir
as a temporary provision.
So
please, I very humbly request you, even for political convenience, don't state things in which are half-baked. 370 was a temporary provision, and that was the agreement.
Yes,
correct?
I agree.
So,
yes, I agree.
Is 75 years temporary? Or should 7 years be temporary? What is temporary? Coming to you, Shazam. Yeah. So then when you say going back, okay, chaliye, please complete and then we'll take it forward.
370 surely was temporary, but this should be removed. The 370 should have been removed by the consent of the people of Jammu and Kashmir, by the consent of the assembly, by the consent of the state government. They have done it unilaterally. There is the problem. The problem is they have done it unilaterally. There was no consent of the people of Jammu and Kashmir or the government of Jammu and Kashmir at that time. There is the problem. If the assembly was in session, assembly could have passed it that we no longer need 370, then it was fine for us. But they have unilaterally taken the decision, the government of India.
So you are saying, so you are saying that Mr. Omar Abdullah is willing to pass a resolution in the Jammu and Kashmir Assembly now, that we hereby pass a resolution which is post-dated, that we will confirm the abrogation of Article 370 as the people of the state. Only thing is, this is our consent pending the fact that the state government should come back and the central government should come back and ask us. Are you willing to do that?
This question is for the government of that time to answer. If the government was in power and the assembly should have been taken into account, then the decision would have been taken that
No, so
370
then
is
this
not
is
needed.
water under the
But
bridge. So why are you trying to collect the water that's already flown in the Jhelum, collect it back? Shazi Almi, now is this going to be a problem or not? Because Mr. Omar Abdullah said statehood, return to
it might
statehood
be
is
a problem.
priority. Return to statehood is a priority. Now Sandeep Wazir is saying 370 is the priority.
I think there is some confusion here. So first of all, I'd like to congratulate Jammu Kashmir NC for having done a spectacular job and for having done so well. So many congratulations. But I think Omar Abdullah has scaled down his promises and also what has been enshrined in the manifesto by his party. When he spoke today and when he was congratulated by the Prime Minister on his commendable performance, what did Omar Abdullah say? He did not talk about 370. He talked about statehood, something that the Prime Minister has already agreed to and has announced several times. And also it has been made a promise and made by none less than the Home Minister way back on the floor of the House. So I think there is a scaling down and dilution of the earlier stand. And he also said, and I wish Sandeep Wazir also listened to the words of his leader more carefully. He said Prime Minister is an honourable man and सम्मानित व्यक्ति हैं हमारे Prime Minister, and he has promised this, so we will get it. He also said we will want to work with the centre very closely and would not want or expect any hostility. So I think all over...
This is what he told Zaka Jacob, Shazi Almi, soon after he said what he said to the Prime Minister. And I'm quoting this.
Exactly.
Here, no, this is what he said.
Exactly. So I want to just...
On Article 370, I will like to believe that Article 370 will be reinstated. It's our political ideology. We are ready for the struggle. This is what he said. And then he says our relations with the central government and BJP.
Because it's part of the manifesto. So to scale it down will be, but he has scaled down because he doesn't have a choice, because his hands are tied constitutionally. So that is something to be looked at. It becomes a paradox of sorts that you come to power with this in your manifesto and with wanting to talk to Pakistan and resume dialogue and trade. But when after you come to power, you realize, and you realized it even earlier, that there is no way you could do anything about it. So you play ball, and he's ready to play ball, and he stated that. So I don't know how disappointing it will be to the cadres, including somebody like Sandeep, who's still talking about 370. Knowing very well there is no feasibility of it coming back anytime soon or ever. I would say never will it come back. So there is something to be looked at over there.
Okay, Shaila Rashid Shora.
So first of all, congratulations to National Conference. All of my friends in the National Conference, I'm very happy for them. And I'm very happy about the statement that was made by Omar Abdullah Saab. As I now famously had said that Omar Saab is the only gentleman in Kashmiri politics. He has actually proved it by saying that I will be the representative, or NC government will be the representative of even the BJP voters and not just the NC voters. And the Jammu region should never feel that they are not represented. So that's a really good statement. As far as this 370 matter is concerned, the NC is actually counting on Indian National Congress to come back to power at the center and then restore it. However, the problem there is that INC Congress has not put 370 restoration on its manifesto. Problem number one. Problem number two, with the statehood. You know, Anand, most of the, this is a known fact that most of the people killed during the militancy have been NC workers. So I would actually want my NC friends to be seen celebrating and distributing sweets on the streets of Kashmir and not getting killed by terrorists. So I think it is too premature for statehood. Last point, NC has a Ruhullah problem. So NC has an Aga Ruhullah problem. So whereas Umar Saab is trying to take a more rational stand, he is being realistic. He understands it's a union territory. He has to work with the center for the benefit of his people. But if we carefully observe the kind of statements that come from Aga Ruhullah Saab, they are more separatist and, more Islamist in nature. And they are more like, I mean, there is even a threat of like breaking the party in those, in those statements. So he has even said that if the party sort of reneges on its promise of 370 or whatever, then I won't hesitate in parting ways. So those are the problems. So it has an INC problem, a statehood problem, and a ruler problem.
Lokesh Jindal.
Well, Anand, we need to have a clear understanding of what exactly is Article 370. Part 21 of the Constitution included various temporary provisions, not just for Jammu and Kashmir, but also for Nagaland, Manipur, northeastern states. The point is, Article 370 gave a special status to the state of Jammu and Kashmir, and Article 370 formed the basis on which Srinagar and New Delhi were to carry out their federal relations. Fair and fine if centre wanted to have more of intrusion into the state's autonomy, but then depriving Jammu and Kashmir of its statehood was something which was very difficult to find out in the constitution. In fact, I would like to reiterate the question that was asked by Mr. Kapil Sibal to the Honorable Supreme Court, where he asked that where in the constitution is the power given to the parliament to deprive a state of its statehood.
Quite rich
Even
coming
Article
from the
3.
Congress party. I don't want to get into the history. The number of times Article 356 has
But the
been
Supreme
invoked,
Court
abused and misused by the Congress party in the past. But in the case of Jammu and Kashmir, there is a lot of water that's flown down the bridge. But I'm just saying statehood is another issue. Statehood is a natural progression, Lokesh Jindal. But trying to go back and talking about Article 370 and 35A is trying to dial back the clock to the days of secession and separatist movements and what kind of bloodshed Jammu and Kashmir was shown, and playing into the narrative of the enemy. So that there has to be a clear demarcation there. What's the Congress's position there? And Shazi Almi wanted to say something on the Supreme Court's response to Kapil Sibal. We'll get to that in a bit. Yeah.
The Constituent Assembly of Jammu and Kashmir is not there anymore. So, with respect to the second provision of Article 370, it cannot be applied. So, there is no basis towards application of Article 370 legally or constitutionally. So, that is something that we must understand and accept. The second point is depriving the people of Jammu and Kashmir of their fundamental rights and citizenship rights is something that is worrisome, for which all Indians we must stand together. So for this, it is required that at the earliest, statehood must be restored to Jammu and Kashmir.
No, but that is the intent. I don't think there is any intent to continue on and persist with the union territory status for Jammu and Kashmir even within the government. See, there are people, these are people, let's not forget our history. These are people like Prime Minister Narendra Modi and all are people who at the peak times of insurgency, secessionist movement and separatism took the tricolour and hurled it, unfolded it at Lal Chowk. And that was not because of a political intent, it was a national intent. I think all of us together should understand this, that statehood is something that even I would like Jammu and Kashmir to get back. But the fact is that this whole narrative about 370, 35A is not just dangerous, but it is also going to hurt the people of Jammu and Kashmir more than anybody else. And of course, it's going to hurt Bharat. And that's where I have a serious problem in political parties trying to whip up this rhetoric. And that's unfair. The other thing is it was under Omar Abdullah's rule, and it was Mr. Omar Abdullah himself who has in the past said that 370 is as good as gone because it's been watered down in the erstwhile state of Jammu Kashmir, Ladakh to an extent that it was not relevant. So for him to make that an issue is quite ironic, frankly. Yes, Shazi Almi.
Yes, so first of all, let me tell Lokesh that, again, you're not up to speed about what your party is all about. So while the Supreme Court verdict has sealed the deal, the ruling is there and it is now a law. So even you discussing that means that you have no idea about what the Supreme Court has said and what is the final word on that matter, something that has been accepted by the Congress leaders, the topmost leaders, and they have said that. The second demand of theirs was a return of statehood, which was promised by our party even when the abrogation was being done. So restoration is not on the cards, or so Congress says. So clearly there is a difference of opinion between National Conference and Congress party, because National Conference makes it part of their manifesto when it talks about that it has to restore 370. However, Omar Abdullah has scaled it down, and because he knows there is little something he can do about it, and constitutionally it's not possible, feasible. So he might be challenged. His people will take him up on that. But you must know, Lokesh, that your own party has accepted the verdict because it is now the law. See, so you raking it up now makes no sense whatsoever.
I don't think
even Omar Abdullah may.
See, I don't think either
even Omar Abdullah
Mr. Omar Abdullah, Rahul Gandhi or any other political leader in this country would want a situation which is dangerous for the integrity of this country. Yes, there may be other political issues and we can have political differences.
Then no. But Anand, how do you explain? Now, how do you explain
that's
the
why-
restoration
no,
of
that- no, no.
370 as an integral part of the manifesto?
That is exactly
of the
why I'm
manifesto of
that
National Conference.
is exactly why I'm saying that if you are doing certain things or saying certain things because you want to pander to a particular constituency in Kashmir and that's how you're going to get their votes and then slowly twist them over a period of time, then that's a little bit of a dangerous game
That's
to
exactly
play.
what I was saying.
No, that's a little bit of a dangerous game to play because you have to tell the people the truth. I'm going to come back to Sandeep Wazir on this. Lokesh, please bear with me. I have limited time. I just wanted to ask Sandeep Wazir this: is there truth in what Shaila Rashid Shora had just said? Is there truth that there is a faction within the NC which is taking a hardliner position, which is taking a slightly pan-Islamist position, compared to a more moderate and a more accommodating and a future, looking forward position taken by, say, an Omar Abdullah?
See, the position Umar Saab took was very fair enough. He said that statehood at this point of time is our main agenda. To get back the statehood for our people is the prime agenda right now. But 370 is also one of our agenda on which we have fought elections also. See, I can explain it. I am sitting in Jammu. I am not a Muslim, but still I personally feel, not being an NC man, NC worker, but as a common man of Jammu, I feel that 370 was beneficial for us. So that's why I feel that privilege which we had is taken away from us,
Okay.
and that too illegally.
Okay,
so I feel that
Sandeep
we should be
Wazir.
getting that 370.
Okay. Sandeep Wazir, we need to sit and have a long conversation, and perhaps I'll have to come down to Jammu and over a meal have a conversation and to say that how to every non-Muslim 370 was egregious, and even to Muslim women 370 was a deterrent, especially 35A. And we'll have a nice conversation on that. I hope you'll host me for a meal very soon in Jammu. But for the moment, I've got to wind up, ladies, and to our panelists have to wind up. Thank you very much. Winding up the edition of The Right Stand on that note. Brass tacks after a break.